Captain on the bridge.
Alright, Captains, we are back here on the bridge for the first video of 2025, so on screen. Yes, Captains, before we get into this video, do us a huge favor and hit that like button, but also if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to the YouTube bridge. Always on the lookout for like-minded Captains share our love, passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now with that said, here we go. Yes, Captains, what I want to do in this video, the very first video of 2025, is do a 2024 recap of Star Trek Online. How we're going to do that is essentially going over some of the blogs and or videos that we have done in the past year, and of course drop our ECs. And most of these things, of course, are positive in my opinion. Some of them will be a little meh, but the whole purpose of this is just kind of get a glimpse of what maybe is to come here in 2025. So as you can see there, a couple days ago we released our last video of 2024. So the first video, we already did a stream there actually here on YouTube where we played Star Trek Online and Dragon Ball Z, and expect more of that in 2025, where we might just start off the stream with Star Trek Online and then transition to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero or any game that we are playing at the time. So 2024 come and gone in the history books, and it was quite an interesting year, and I think we did get actually a lot of good things here in Star Trek Online. And one of the things here to start was the first event that we got in 2024, which actually was January 23rd, which actually may be around the same time what we get the next event here in 2025. And with this, we actually got Ezri Dax for the first time here in Star Trek Online, so that was awesome. Of course, her being on her ship, which was also just great. The Vesta, because it's the Vesta. And of course, we found out, spoiler alert, Harry Kim was the Borg King in the other dimension. So this was cool. We got a new episode from it, but one of the, of course, huge highlights was us getting finally Battle of Wolf 359. It's a good TFO. I'm not going to say it's great. If it was one of those TFOs that we would include in our sort of nightly pews, it would have been something that I think would have been in such a grander scale, but I'm glad we have it. But it's literally just a Borg cube sitting there in the middle of space with us just shooting at it and saving some pods, and that's it, right? Regardless, we got some audio clips of Picard, even Cisco, so not going to poo-poo on it a lot, but the fact that we have it is great. Just, I'm not sure what else we could do, or what else the, Cryptic or Deca could do to make it even better. But regardless, we got it, and it was a big hype. So it was really, really cool to see that come into Star Trek Online. But it was really great. Again, I think Ezri Dax and Nicole did an excellent job with her voiceovers, in my opinion. Now, again, this is just going to be things that have just coming in, or that had come in 2024. One of them is the Muds bundle here, or the first Muds bundle, which was the Disco. The Mud bundle, which came, and it wasn't really necessarily something that we got. We didn't get it, but it's something that we do recommend because it came with the D7 from the Kelvin timeline. Now, of course, right there, the D7 Miracle Worker Flight Deck Carrier, and I believe this was the one that came in with the Ruin of Our Enemy trait there. Well, not the Disco. Was it the Disco? Yeah, I think it was. Regardless, in this particular pack, this D7 did come with that, and we even gave it a thumbs up in the thumbnail. And you also got, of course, the Disco Connie. Now, the advantages of this coming to the Muds bundle is that it's account unlock. So I got the ship, I just put it on my main character, and I'm happy with that, because for me personally, I don't see the need to sort of upgrade all my tunes to have the very best. I just leave that to my main, but I'm still glad I got it for my main two. And I even got this ship too as well. Regardless, the other two ships I'm not really too interested in anyways. But it was something of significance, and that a lot of captains were actually happy to get there in the Mud store. Next up, of course, again, talking about the Wolf 359, going back to it again, this was great. The hype for it was awesome, but then again, the execution I thought was meh. And I'm not sure if there's going to be any chance for them to revamp it. I'm not saying that it should have been a ship that should be moving towards a certain space. My sort of wish list was for them to redress the crystalline entity, TFO, now that we have the fusion cube in game. Not that there would be anything related to 359, but a Borg TFO that would have the crystalline entity redressed as a Borg fusion cube heading towards Earth and us trying to slow it down. That would have been great. And something like that could have been applied to Wolf 359. But regardless, again, I'm happy that we got it in the end. Now, of course, one of the really, really awesome news that we got, or things that we got in 2024, was this ship, the Rex. This is one of the coolest ships that we got, essentially for free, for doing the event there. And it was a mix of the Defiant and a Jem'Hadar Bug. And as you can see there, we were really hyping this up, and it got hyped up. And it was a great ship. It is still a great ship. And I love the console that it comes with, because you get all this like elite alliance squadron with you. And you know, 2024 also came with the year of like the pets, that you can really deck out your carrier ships with pets, or any ships really, with all the consoles and such we have here. But this was a great ship and a great addition, of course, to the Alliance fleet, and glad we got this essentially for free. And hopefully, captains, you didn't miss on it, but know that you probably get another chance at this ship, most likely in the Muds bundle. Now, having said that, maybe there's an opportunity for this ship to come into the Phoenix prize pack, which that could also be an option. I would rather them just putting in the C-Store plain out, just by itself, to be honest with you, at a higher Zen price. But at least people who missed it or come into the game would get to be able to get the ship. But that was an awesome addition. Next up here, we also got the last generation lockbox, which came with a Deuter set. Now, of course, this ship came from Picard Season 3, and we know that this ship is one of the ships that Bill Krause, one of our good friends that we interviewed here a couple of years ago, made it onto Star Trek Online. And we got the ship, and it's a great ship. I'm glad I have it. Unique design. Really, it had the nacelles obviously from Picard, so it kind of gave that continuity that, of course, the Titan did have. But it's a great ship. We had it. We did a video on it, and we plan on, of course, flying it here and there, and we're glad we added it to the fleet. Now, with the lockbox, one of the cool things here was the Ampton Prime Fleet Museum beacon, because with this, you were able to call the following ships. At kind of random, it wasn't really a ship that you can actually call in a way that you can just call the Voyager if you want to. No, it was just going to be a random ship, but you were able to call the Voyager, Defiant, the Enterprise A or D, Stargazer, Saratoga, and the Lexington. So again, something that you could add to one of your pet builds just to increase the number of ships or pets you have at any given time. So I think that was pretty cool. Some of the things that came out of it wasn't too notable in terms of the ground stuff, but we got the radiolytic phasers. Now, these were the phasers I think meant to kind of have the visual from Picard, but I didn't really like them. Now, we still have a set of them that we still have to upgrade, but it had like these bumps in them. I feel like they should have just been more of a straight beam visual, but regardless, we got them. On top of that, with the 2399 phaser, and also Worf's weapon, the Kurleth, which is pretty cool. We have it, and we love it 100%. Of course, we got the Starfleet 2401 uniform there as well from this. But the big thing from this lockbox, of course, was the Deuter, and we were lucky enough to grab that ship. Next, of course, with the Wolf 359, we got the new Memorial Station. And on a recent stream, I think as of the drop of this video, I think last week or a couple of weeks ago, back in 2024, one of the last weeks in 2024, we actually had Tumor Boy come on to our Twitch stream, and we kind of discussed this a little bit. I said it was a little too dark, but what they really were going for was kind of a somber tone, which made sense. Of course, it was a memorial, but it would have been cool though if we would also go onto the station, maybe have some sort of library of the ships. But again, something that they added, which I thought was really cool. Now, it did replace the old Wolf 35 now, which was this, with literally just a holographic thing in space, along with like bits and pieces of ships. I wish they would have kept this and just added it somewhere onto the map. Here, possibly, so that it could still have the old bit of the old Wolf 359 memorial here as well. But regardless, it's there. We visited a couple times. Not a really great place to take some selfies, but glad we have it in game. Now, the other things that we got, of course, here, big news in 2024 was for the event campaign, we were getting all the prizes, and we pushed that to no end whenever we had the chance, because before the event campaign, we actually had to pick one of the three choices of either premium ship or the 2 tier 6 ship coupons or the 1500 low buy. 2024 and moving forward, now we get all three choices, which is awesome, and it's a great help, especially to newer captains who are starting Star Trek Online right off the bat. You did all the campaigns along with any of the events that gave free stuff. This was the one that could jumpstart your career definitely in STO 100%, because you got the premium ship, the 2 tier 6 ship coupon, and the 1500 low buy off the bat. And it only took us, really, to be honest, Caps, I think three and a half campaigns to get everything. And then of course everything was just bonus up to that point. But this was a great gesture from Cryptic / Deca, whoever came up with it. Regardless, it's something that is here to stay, hopefully, and is a great, again, addition to Star Trek Online. The whole give us everything when it comes to the event campaign, which again is going to start up again in 2025 soon. And of course, when it does, we'll drop that here on the YouTube channel. Now, of course, around this time, what else dropped? Well, the 14th anniversary bundle. And you Caps know my position on this. I was very disappointed in this bundle. Myself, personally, that Romulan Borgish ship there, whatever it was called there, it was called the Manduker class. I don't know why they added it. It just did not make sense. And we know that they missed out the two ships, which is the Freedom class, I believe, and the Nebula. I thought there were rumors saying that they were going to add a kind of part 2 14th anniversary bundle, but that never happened. Now, from this bundle, though, I will say the two ships that I did get was absolutely awesome. The Awani, which of course was the tier 6 version of the Constellation, and the Challenger, aka Atlantis, which is a smexy ship 100%. Now, of course, one of the bonuses of the Awani was it had come with the Universal Console at Fleet Network Power, I believe, thing that is now super meta, which just gives weapon haste to either yourself and or whoever you cast it on, and it is great. Now, we did already a video on the Atlantis. We still haven't done on the Awani. We'll probably do that sometime here, because as of the drop of this video, we are actually on holiday, so we're going to try to catch up on all this stuff. But going back to this, I was not really super impressed by this bundle, because the New Orleans, we already had that. And then, of course, they added another ship there, the Constellation Heavy Cruiser refit, but it was only tier 3, so it just felt very awkward. Yeah, you got these other things here, like some weapons and also tier 6 ship coupons and such, but I really felt like it wasn't the best bundle. So I personally opted just to get the two ships, the Atlantis and the Wani. So here's hoping that the 15th anniversary bundle for 2025 is going to be better than this, but I chose not to get the bundle and only got the 2 ships as I mentioned. So next up here is something of note that did happen, which was sort of kind of under the radar, but it happened, was Al Rivera leaving. Now, my notes that I put here for myself, I said not even a goodbye. They're not obligated to say goodbye to us, not at all. But you would think with all of what he had done for Stowe and his time there, he would at least do something, some sort of blog. He didn't, but this of course was one of many of devs, people leaving Stowe, which of course we'll still go over I should say in this video. But yeah, Al Rivera leaving, I remember at this time feeling sort of, what's next, what's going to happen with Stowe? Not only myself, but a lot of other captains too, but we really had no idea because, of course, with the transition happening from Cryptic to Deca, we knew this was coming. We really did, but still, this was a little bit of a shocker to myself because we didn't get really no message from him saying, captains, you know, whatever, thank you for your time, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. It could have just been one line, but that's just probably me, but that was one of the things that I thought was worth of note. Now, having said that, when that had happened, kind of shortly after, we got this news, of course, Jonathan Herleish leaving as well, which was kind of sad because I thought he was going to do great things. He was starting to really he was actually making appearances on the 10 forward streams, which of course we lost in 2024. But with his departure, it kind of really started to put the mood down for myself. Now, having said that, with his leaving, we got a post though from the new CEO, which was great. It felt like for the first time around this time that we were going to get some more communication, you know, because this was around 10 months ago there, March 1st. So that we got news of the new CEO, but even then, that didn't even last that long. We heard from him once, maybe twice, and that was it. So I understand there's things that were going on in the background with the whole transition. So I'm glad he did this, but then it was the only thing that he did, right? So I remember just that time was just really kind of weird in terms of people leaving, and then of course now us getting the new CEO, but then not hearing from him ever again. I'm not even sure if he's there. Captains, if you know, let me know in the comments below. But of course in 2024 wouldn't be Star Trek Online was getting even more ships, and one of the ships that came into game was this ship, the Orion D'Var, which was, I believe, from Lower Decks. Is this from Lower Decks? I think so. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. As you can tell, I'm not really the biggest fan of this ship because I don't have it, nor do I want it. It looks very weird, but it is what it is. It is actually a ship, or was this from Strange New Worlds? I could be wrong. But again, let me know, captains, in the comments below. The ship that we got, I didn't really care for, but I'm glad we got, just because people can be attracted to Star Trek Online knowing that they can have access to the ships they saw on screen, whether it be the, of course, Strange New Worlds, the Discovery, or, well, Discovery's done now, or, you know, Lower Decks is done now, but there's still more Trek. So them putting these ships into Star Trek Online is good overall, regardless. Now, of course, we had this, which is the event campaign 2, and rewards here. We got this universal kit module. It wasn't really nothing too great. It was like a Tholian sort of module. It wasn't the greatest thing, but we got it. And you know, I always advocate for everyone to do the events when these things happen, so that we can, 1, get the event campaign progress, but 2, get free stuff. Even though if they're just like little knickknacks and things that you can put in your account, it's always good to have free stuff. Now, another Muds bundle that came was this bundle here, the Got More Dread. Now, let's just ignore this little patch area here. The important thing that came in this bundle was this, the Atlas prototype Dreadnought, which came with the console DPRM. I really don't care about the other ships, to be honest with you. No, I don't. Captains, I don't. But this ship came with a DPRM and is one of the only way now that you can get this through the Muds bundle for an account unlock. Now, you can still get this ship for your event prize if you want, but again, that's single character unlock. Of course, if you want account unlock, well, then you'd have to buy this bundle. Again, I don't really recommend, or, you know, 3 choices of it, of course. That's the 23rd Century Dreadnought 26 or the Mirian Command Science Dreadnought. Again, for me personally, it's not worth it because I already have it, and as I mentioned earlier, all of the goodies are just going to go on one tune anyways. I don't really feel like upgrading everyone else, so we just kept it with the one. But I know a lot of captains were excited to have this come to the Mud store, which is rare because the Mud store is pretty expensive. For first contact day there for 2024, we had this awesome little prize here, which is the Photon Burst Rifle. Now, this is from the game, I believe, the ground game. What was that? Elite Force? There we go. Elite Force. I thought it was fun. We hadn't really used it only but a couple times, but this was, of course, the continuing trend of things coming to Star Trek Online from older games. Not only ships, but these little knickknacks here. So, like these weapons. So I hope they continue on with the same trend in 2025. This was just cool, having a torpedo on ground, not gonna lie. And of course, more ships coming into Star Trek Online was this, from the KT universe, is the Kelvin Constitution 2. I didn't get it because I already have the legendary version, and I believe the first lockbox version of it. I wasn't a huge fan of the refit, to be honest with you, but I hope with this that they do get more Kelvin timeline ships into Star Trek Online, because there were some there that I did want, like twin hull ships there, one nacelle ships. I believe that they had, and you know, some of the other stuff that we saw on screen, but hopefully they do more. Again, keeping up with the trend of the ships coming to Star Trek Online, I'm glad they got her in there because some people were wanting it. Definitely. Next up, another dev leaving here. So if we remember, our lead content designer Jesse Hennig also left, unfortunately, Star Trek Online there. So again, this was around the time that we were just really kind of questioning what was going on. This is when we still had 10 forward streams, and I do hope moving on in 2025 that we get more 10 forward streams from whoever this new CM is, or whoever is still left at Star Trek Online Cryptic team. Now, I do know what they'd mentioned was Thomas and Bordicus have kind of taken Al Rivera's role, so I don't see them doing a stream, but hopefully they appoint someone to do streams in the way that Kale did when he was with us. Now, this was the demon hunting event here. Now, the cool thing it was of note from this event, the prize was the Herald Defiler Mace. We still haven't really used it. We're probably gonna mess around with it here and share it here on the YouTube bridge, but that was a pretty cool reward. And then, of course, we got the Herald weapons, which always welcomed a omnidirectional beam, which just looks pretty cool. But we also got a wide arc Herald antiproton dual heavy cannons. Now, again, I don't use antiprotons. It's great to have, and it's just, highlighting again that these events do come with free rewards just by doing them, and by missing them, you miss out on these until they go into the Mud store, and of course, they're overpriced. So there's that. Now, of course, the next thing that we're going to go over is a lot of people were waiting for this, and finally we got the T6 versions of the Dyson ships. Now, these ships are great in terms of what they were back in when we got them, the tier 5 ones, because we got them for free essentially. And I didn't get this. The one ship of this bundle that I probably will get is on the list is the Romulan version. But again, I know a lot of captains were wanting this, and we did finally get it. It only took however long for us to get. I believe 2014 is when I started, and I think that was when the Dyson stuff started. So it took a bit. It took 10 is that 10 years? Oh wow, for this to get the upgrade, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, we got it, and some captains are happy. Now, the next thing is, of course, when we got another update here for the Unparalleled that came in May of 2024 was the return of Denise Crosby. And this was a cool episode. There's a lot of things here that we got, and of course with the Aetherians, the whole thing there, it was pretty cool. Now for the prize for this, one of the things that we got, which was pretty cool, was the 500 low-buy crystals. I hope they keep doing that. They keep giving us that. Of course, the Type 14 Shuttle Support Squadron was these ships over here from Picard, so I thought that was pretty cool. Again, them giving that to us from the actual show. And of course, the Dimensional Hypermass Torpedo. But on top of that, we got also a Phoenix Epic Prize token. I really do feel that the Epic Phoenix Prize token, the drop rate that is like abysmal. It's so like, I do have two that I have, but after opening however many boxes ever since the Phoenix event came into Stowe, I've only gotten two. So that is, I've gotten more like lockbox ships or promo ships than I had Epic tokens. So it was good, and I hope they continue with this trend, giving us low buy and again, of course, Epic tokens, just cuz. And if you already have the Epic tokens ships, you can just break them down for more upgrades, because why not? Now, the other thing that we got in 2024 was the return of the Resolute skin. Now, we got this back in 2023, and for a short time, we were able to get this again. This was cool. I do love this ship, and of course, captains, you know that we did play the Resurgence game. We loved it, and having this ship skin essentially was cool, and we had it for a short time. So I hope this is something that they do regularly. So hopefully around in May, maybe they'll do it again for the anniversary of Resurgence to make this available again to newer captains, because it looks pretty cool, and I think it really does fit in as a hero ship, because I love the modification they've done with it, and it does actually look like a ship from Axanar, the Ares, but just TMPified. So again, hopefully they actually bring that back. Now in 2024, we also got this, the Captain Alteration Token. So something that you can do with your captains is change your gender or species. Now, I think it's still not working 100%. For us, it's not really something that we're going to really mess with. I don't have any plans to change any of my tunes. They're fine the way, but I know a lot of captains were looking forward to this, and I hope they actually fix this properly, because from what I'm hearing, it actually is not. So let's see if there's any more changes to this, but I know some people have, some people are still waiting, and I believe console this is still bugged, and because one of our supporters here, Antar, mentioned that this is still an issue there on the console bridge, at least for the PlayStation. Now, one of the events, the Delete All Control event here, was again, we got a Phoenix prize pack, of course, the Hyperdimensional, same thing that we just went over with the Unparalleled. This was great, again, as I mentioned, but we also got the new episodes there. The Borg Battle Royale, I thought was going to be space, but it was ground, and the Guillotine, of course, you had all that, and of course, here was the actual pictures of the Hypermass Torpedo, along with the 14 shuttle, Type 14 shuttles, where again, they were pretty cool, and I love the whole 3 types of Borgs, multiversal Borgs here that we had to go up against, and is a theme that we're probably going to definitely go forward with here, at least maybe for the anniversary featured story event here coming in January, whatever that will be, hopefully, because more Borg just means more Borg beating. Now we also got the first Aetherian ship, which was this. Pretty ugly in my opinion. Nothing that we're too excited about, but it is a ship that we got in 2024, and I believe this, of course, and keep in mind, with the event campaign, any ships that have come out that year you won't be able to have access to, but for the ships that release in 2024, you'll be able to get them in 2025. So that is something, again, a huge advantage to a lot of us captains, especially newer players who are coming into Star Trek Online. So this is just a ship that we just never going to get. It's not even on the list, but some people did get it, and it's something. Has a bunch of moving bits, but it is pretty much something. Now again, with that event here, you know, with the Delete All Control event, there was a change, or remaster I should say, to the Exeter variant in around the time of this event. So that also got remastered, and one of the many ships, handful of ships that got remastered in 2024, and that of course is the Tier 2 ship in the Dilithium store now. Another Muds bundle that come there into 2024 was Muds Stand in Defense of Sol. Caps, you know how I felt about this. It wasn't something that we recommend. We do have the Dumbo, and of course shout out to Nicholas for gifting us the Dumbo. This is a great performing ship for torpedoes, but of course since then there's more ships that have come and surpassed it. It just never really appealed to me, but he wanted me to use it. This looks like an elephant, this looks like a crab, and this looks like a toilet seat. I'm sorry, it's just that. But some people did get it, so anything that still comes into Stowe, we're going to have to just either get it or not get it. And in this case, we didn't get it. Now, for the summer event, captains, you know that this is one of our favorite events because it's just a nice change of pace. We got the Tier 6 Vovin, which was the Tier 6 version of the Obelisk. And we've taken it out. We still have to make a video on it, so look forward to that. It's a fun ship. It's a great ship. We used it, and of course it performed pretty well. Usually with carrier ships, they're more psi sort of intensely heavy, but all we do is just kind of put torpedo builds on it with pets, and that's what we do with this. Now the console that came with this was, I heard, pretty good, and it's something that some peeps use there to reset their cooldowns. But I'm glad we got this ship. Now I still call the ship a Dino Skull. Now it's just kind of a good sort of sleek looking Dino Skull. Next up, another ship that we got in 2024 was the Credence from Discovery. And shout out to Documents for gifting us this ship on the PlayStation Bridge. Thank you, sir. Along with one of the many ships that you have gifted us. It's a great ship. I will say, performance-wise, it's great. I just put a beam overload build on her there on the PlayStation Bridge, and she performs well. Not gonna lie. As a beam platform, looks a little odd, I'm not gonna lie, but in terms of, again, getting ships here from the show, they're just continuing that trend, and this was a ship that no one asked for, but we got. So again, continuing that trend. Now, one of the huge major successes of ships coming into games was this, the Heritage bundle. Of course, now, like I said, we were getting things from other games. Now this was like the full-fledged on. There was like a lead up to this too, like hints on their Stowe X feed of screenshots from the older games, and these ships are top three, at least top two, I should say, sorry, top two ships that I recommend, which is the Typhon, which is a carrier kind of escort, and the Achilles, The Achilles is a deadly ship. I believe I almost hit a mill with one tank in the group because we put like a cannon scatter volley build, and it comes with the hexa cannons, and oh man, those things do some great DPS. Premonition, of the 3 ships, the Premonition just looks smexy. Just really looks smexy. It's more of a side ship, so not really our thing, but that's okay. Some captains grew up with playing these ships. Now, the only ships that I had sort of access to when I was growing up was the Achilles. It was in a mod from Star Trek Starfleet Command 3, and I thought it was a fan-made ship, but apparently it was from a game, Dominion DS9 type game. And the Typhon was Invasion, and the Premonition was from an Armada game. So this apparently sold really, really well. So I'm looking forward to, I don't know, I guess I'm not sure what they're going to call it, but maybe they'll just keep on with the title of the Heritage Bundle, Part 2. I'm not sure what ships that they would put in there. We've probably gotten one of the teases, but we'll go over that when we go over that later. But this bundle is absolutely great, and I cannot not recommend this bundle because it's great. And again, it just worked for me because because the actual Typhon is like a torpedo platform, and on top of that, I actually got into carrier build, so it had a bunch of these. It was a carrier in itself, so you can put pets on it. But the Achilles was the surprising one of the bundle because of how well it performed. Like I said, we almost did a mill on that ship just off the bat, which of course we'll do a video on these ships regardless, because we have yet to do so, but we've already flew them in game, and they really perform and all look good in my opinion. Even the brick, the Typhon, the brick really surprised me that I turned to actually love that ship in terms of its looks. At first it didn't fit, but it made sense as it's now in game, and I've flown it, so there's that. Now, from the next event that we had there, the flagship celebration event, our rewards for this was the Khmer Defender space set. Wasn't really the biggest thing, but again, for newer captains joining, they can have that as a placeholder till they get better gear. And of course, this was a part of the event campaign, so not the best reward, but regardless, something free. Another remastered ship for the tier 6 tier was the Herosian ship that we got. We have the tier 5 version of the ship, and it performed really well. Still performs really well. Any ship does, as long as you build it and synergize your build. But this was an awesome ship here to get remastered for some, because they were actually looking for that. So that is a ship there that we got remastered. Speaking of remastered, well, there you go, a Jupiter. We got the Jupiter there remastered this year. Not the design that we voted for when this came out. I believe what we voted for was the Omega design, I think. But it was also part of the remasters with the Exeter, the Jupiter, and of course here it even said something about the Rapier as well, I believe was remastered at the same time. And I'm going over my notes here, but love how they keep doing these remasters. And for the captains that had the Jupiter, they were really excited. So, and here you go. There was actually just by Panda Pundis, the Rapier remaster was also live on top of the Jupiter. So there was that. Now, speaking of ships coming into Star Trek Online from the show, well, there you go. We had the Nova 1 from Lower Decks. Not a ship that we got. It just does not appeal to us. But again, ships coming in from existing shows is always a good thing, as it does and always will attract newer captains. Now, one of the things that we were really excited for this year that we got for free was the return of the Typhoon. Now, captains, I know you remember the Typhoon there in Star Trek Online. Those who were here from the beginning was that quad nacelled looking ship, but we got this ship for free, and it's an absolute beast. I absolutely do love this ship, and I'm glad we have this for free. We built this out already. It was on the channel. One of my favorite features of this ship is definitely the nacelles. It's sort of trying to portray that quad nacelle look, but this is kind of what we got, and it works. I think it really works. Now, it feels like it's from the line of the Chimera ships. That's the vibe I get from the deflector, but regardless, it's a great ship. It was free, and for us, it had a Lieutenant Commander Tactical Command. Caps, I love my command, so we always had that to fall on. And again, it was a great ship, and hopefully you Caps got it, but for those who missed it, hopefully there's another way that they'll put this back in game so that you can get this, because that was a great notable moment there in time when they gave us, or when this ship made its return to Star Trek Online. Now, they also updated the low-buy store, and we got some badgy stuff, which was really cool. Now, this is the main badge that everyone wanted, and of course that one's the most expensive and rare one to get. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but maybe sometime down in the future it'd be fun to have that. On top of that, more of the lower deck stuff coming into game. They gave us these two things for free, which was the hairstyle and the Vulcan cyber implant there. Now, it's already done, unfortunately, but hopefully they will just get this back sort of, sometime in 2025, where they'll have a couple weeks where it's returning. Captains, make sure you claim it. But glad again that they're updating in the low buy store with that, because we got a bunch of stuff when they did that, because upgrading it, getting all these things in the low buy store just upgraded there. As you can see, they gave it there to us for about 2 weeks is when they get. So hopefully they do it again. Now, this was back in September. Hopefully around that time they do that again. Now, another Muds bundle that they put together, which, nope, for me was a nope, was this one, the Mud Peaks into the Future. In more ships from the Discovery. You got the toilet, you got the bottle opener, aka the Voyager, and the Kirk class. Now, the Kirk class is on our list of ships to get, but very at the bottom. But again, as a Muds bundle, I'm not really too bothered to kind of recommend it, because it's just not really appealing, in all honesty. I know for a hot minute that the ship here, the toilet, was definitely, or what you call it, the Courage, was at a hot second there, part of the meta, but that of course faded as more ships came into game. So just felt like this is being forced at this point. So, but again, for those who wanted it, well, there you go. Now, this happened, of course, we all know, we mentioned already, the layoffs, and this was essentially the end of the 10 forward streams when, of course, Mike Fatum, aka Ambassador Kale, was let go, on top of other Stowe devs there. And it's unfortunate. Again, we wish them luck. Ambassador Kale actually is streaming on YouTube and on Twitch, so he's kind of pushing forward. I don't know if he's gotten a new job yet, but when he was streaming, some captains have put on Reddit some of the things that he can tell on stream of his time there, his tenure there at Cryptic, and something, and we've gone over it here in some videos, and some interesting tidbits there for us, or for us to have gone over there. So hopefully we get more information as he keeps doing the streams there. But again, this is one of the unfortunate things that happen when companies take over, and sadly they can't keep everyone, right? So again, I hope we get more communication from DECA, knowing what's going to happen here in 2025. Now, the Halloween events here, not really the best, but we got Beowulf's Blade, which is pretty cool, and we got even a cat. So I believe this cat was from Discovery and is one of the things that we got there. So that's always cool. Again, just these little stuff. Now, the best reward that we ever got from this was still the Feline's charm, I think, the cat charm that turns us into a cat, because the speed boost on that is absolutely ridiculous. Now, one of the ships that we'll be doing a feature on here on the channel soon is this from Star Trek Prodigy. We got the Lamar class. And again, huge shout out to Mikey, aka Damon Tar, for gifting this to us. It's been a great ship. We're going to definitely try to get that video out here and share the build what we've done, because it is really fun. And I'm glad we have her in the fleet, but also in stow. And again, if this ship is something that you wanted, because you watch Prodigy, we don't, you can actually get this ship from the event campaign for 2025. But again, continuing on with the trend of ships coming into Star Trek Online, this is cool. Now, what's weird about this ship is it shares the kit bash ability with the Sovereign. Not the Intrepid stuff, but the Sovereign, because I believe it's due to the size. Kind of a weird decision. I think this should have been the ship that we got a 5-3 Sovereign, because it would have been so good. It is kind of a science-based one, but regardless, I think it's due time for a 5-3 Sovereign, but that may be another topic for a video in the future. But again, look out for this video of the Lamar coming onto the channel as the drop of this video, hopefully in the near future. Some of the other things that we got here, and we can see here in the title that I had put there, was the Nebula, the Enigma Nebula getting an update. So it's not like this weird white little hazing thing. It's actually just like more like a portal, and it doesn't look as out of place. I mean, it's still a huge circle there, but regardless, that got updated along with Admiral Quinn and the Horizon. So that is something that, again, another ship remastered for stow. And you can see it's been more TMP-ified, and I believe that trend is going to continue. It would be nice if we got more TMP skins here in Star Trek Online. So there's that. Another ship that come in from lower decks is this, the Aurora Juggernaut. And it's a ship we don't have, a ship we knew was coming, but regardless, it's a ship that it is now available. Recaps, and if you want it as your 2025 campaign, your event campaign, well, there you go. Now, of course, the Feast was one of the events again for the event campaign. It was a weird reward. It gave us the micro virus array. It's probably something we'll show off here, probably, but it just does not look good. It's like this really weird arm wobbly thing. Yeah, but again, this was a part of the event campaign, so this was something that we did, and I tried not to miss these rewards out just because it's, who knows, one day I may come up with some sort of ground build that will need a microvirus array, and at least we have it, but a notable reward regardless. Now, one of the other things that we had teased to us in 2024, which is coming in 2025, is the new ESD map update along with the ESD station. Now, this was the first iteration of it, and this is from the video that we did there. Not to say that it looked bad, but my criticism of this was it just looked, the planet was too brown, and it didn't look like the blue marble. Now, thankfully, Tumor Boy, one of the devs still remaining there in Cryptic, heard our sort of criticism, not only mine, but a bunch of the communities, and he made that change. This looks a lot better, 100%. Now, when we had visited Tribble, it still wasn't, of course, done, and we mentioned that. It's not done, but I'm glad he made this change, because this was a lot closer to what we actually saw on screen. So, and that was one of the things that was the talking points when we first saw it, was it didn't look, it kind of looked almost dead. But I'm glad Tumor Boy decided to kind of blew it up, in a sense, to just make it more closer to what we saw on screen and to what we even have now, which is more blue. So I'm looking forward to that in 2025, and hopefully we get it soon. I'm a little sad that we can't fly around the Earth, but I get why they did that. There was still the choice to do so at the time, but they chose just to make the Earth bigger, which makes more sense, in my opinion. So, again, can't wait to get that. Now, 2024 ended off with a huge bang in terms of just stuff that we got. And one of them was a parting gift from Ambassador Kale, which was this, the Golden Nagus. Now, a lot of captains were really upset when the Nagus, Golden Nagus, was given out kind of in secret and not given to everyone. And the email attached to it was saying, thank you for your support of Star Trek Online, or something to that degree. Here's a Golden Nagus. We saw some of these flying around and people lost their minds saying, why did we get it? Why didn't we get it? And I don't believe anyone in our sort of captain circle got it. Regardless, the last thing that Ambassador Kale pushed for was this, and we got this entirely for free, and all we had to do was claim it. Now, of course, it is now over, the period to claim this ship, so hopefully they find some time, when was this released? In December of 2025, to say, hey, the next 2 weeks, you missed out the first time, here you go. Get the Golden Nagus. Now, we're still going to do a video on this. This was perfect for us because this was a commander command. So, torpedoes galore, and it performed admirably. And it has like this battle mode, which bits and pieces move up here, and there's like a torpedo launcher here, and it came with a missile sort of integration system there. So it was really cool that we got it. And like I said, the end of 2024 came out with a bang, because not only did we get this ship for free, we also got the Ilios from Star Trek Picard as the winter event prize, which was crazy, which was absolutely insane. Now, I thought that this ship was going to be a lockbox or a promo ship, but I'm super glad that they gave this as the winter event reward. It's a great ship. We're actually flying it now. It just performs really well as bare bones. We haven't T6X'd it, and it's pushing like 575k in runs that have a tank, and doing really well. And it's a great ship, a great addition to the fleet. If this would have come, or was put into the lockbox or something, we still would have gotten it eventually. But hopefully, Caps, you were able to get the ship, because the winter event is over as the recording of this video, and hopefully they put this back in the market. Probably what's going to happen is probably going to go to the MUDs market there. So that's something that is unfortunate. But again, to those who got the ship, I think everyone was pretty happy with how the ship performed and how we got it. So again, kudos. The last couple ships there that they gave us for free at 2024, which is awesome. Now, the last ship to enter into 2024 was this, the Obena from Lower Decks. And again, huge shout out to Mikey, aka Damon Tar, gifted this ship to us. So we're going to do a video on this. Actually, we're going to do 2 videos on this. We're going to do an energy build and a torpedo build. Yes, because he saw me build it out originally, and in a joking manner, he said he was disappointed that I didn't do my torp sort of take on it. So we're gonna do 2 of them. It's a great ship. I'm not gonna take anything away from it, but it does kind of look weird in sort of angles. The side view of it is great. Now, where it kind of loses me is the fat nacelles. I didn't realize how jarring it was until I got it. But regardless, again, another ship from Lower Decks, and as you can see here, it kind of definitely looks like an Excelsior, but it has like Sovereign-esque hints here from the saucer, the deflector being yellow, and the nacelles. You can kit bash this with the Excel 2 from Picard, and I've gotten like maybe one configuration that I like from it. But regardless, it's a ship now that you can get for 2025 in terms of your event campaign prize. So great that we have this in game. A lot of people were wanting it, and there we go. We got it in 2024, just in time for 2025's event campaign. Now, moving forward, we were teased with some ship here coming in 2025, which is this, the Ark Royal. We've done a couple videos on this, and we're super excited because this is from Star Trek Starfleet Command 2, and I didn't realize until he said it, this is one of Thomas's favorite ship. Now, it says here, to celebrate, here's a teaser from an upcoming ship C-Store bundle. So this could be the Heritage Bundle Part 2. And if it is, it's great, because, man, this ship is absolutely amazing. I think a lot of people are excited for this because it looks pretty sexy, I'm not going to lie. And again, carrying on with the carrier sort of love that the carriers have gotten lately, this definitely is going to add to it, because this is a great looking ship in my opinion, and I can't wait to get it. I'm hoping the whole bundle, I don't know what else, because I actually want ships from Star Trek Starfleet Command 1, which is the Ulysses and the Yamato. The Yamato being the double twin hull battleship, and the Ulysses being kind of the dreadnought TMP ship there in that game. But I'm glad we're getting this, so I'm not 100% sure what we're going to get in terms of the other ships that they're going to put in this bundle. But one thing that I'm great to hear, that it's going to be a C-Store ship and not like a promo ship. So looking forward to that, and of course more news drops of the ship, we will share that here on the channel. And of course, lastly, one of the things in 24 we got was an upgrade, and we've been calling this for a while, to the Phoenix upgrade. And what they had done here was put in the Compiler Science Dreadnought, which was an event prize ship, the anniversary event ship, I think from last year, from 2023. They put in the Crystal Power Pack, Crystal Prism, Evil Lorca's armor, Emancipator outfit, the core uniform, the Blinded by the Light pack, the Black Ops mine launcher, and the Martian mining laser. So I hope they don't take however long it took them to add these items to add more items into the Phoenix prize pack, because I believe that it's been years, and it's great to see that they're adding more things there into the Phoenix prize pack, and hopefully they add more. I'm hoping they add, let's say, the Rex to the Phoenix prize pack, just to make this more appealing, because of course, as of this video, the dilithium DLX market is not really doing so well. So when you add more things that are desirable to the Phoenix prize pack, hopefully that does actually affect the DLX to bring that down, to make Zen more affordable, especially for those free to play. So that was 2024 in a whole sort of almost hour rant. Didn't know how long this is going to be, but this is something that we planned to do because we did it last year in 2023, and of course this is how we wanted to begin 2025, with a recap of 2024. Kind of an up and down year, not gonna lie, captains, but I think it's been more positive than has been negative. A lot of things to look forward to, like I said in the last part there. The Ark Royal, the new ESD maps, all that stuff coming soon, hopefully, and once they do, of course, we will definitely cover that. Now, as for the channel, captains, we are on our way to 4,000k subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you who've already subscribed here. Hopefully we get to meet newer captains who can join us here, because that's going to still be our mission for 2025, is to share our passion and love for Star Trek Online. So I know it's been a long one, captains, but this is something that we had wanted to do here. So do us a huge favor, hit the like button, comment below, let me know your favorite moment, things in 2024 that you can note for Star Trek Online. And also, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. And we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.